Welcome to the Serious Shift blogcast. We have only one question. What does Serious Shift mean to you? To answer that and much more, here's your host, Dennis Moseley-Williams.
Hi, I'm Dennis, and welcome back to the Serious Shift blogcast, episode number 123. Here's my question for you. Do you love it enough? This is a question I've asked before. Generally speaking, I say the two most important questions are, who's my work for? And what change does my work help, create? Okay? But this is another question. And this question is especially important right now during this, let's call it a rebuild. Here's the question. Do you love it enough? I was chatting with a client of ours last week and, candidly, here's where he's at. He has, as my father would say, he's run out of road. He has accomplished all of his goals. And here's his choices are enviable. He can choose to plug it all back in and just literally go back to work when this COVID thing is over and play out his dates. Conversely, he could never go back to work again and go do anything he likes and roam the planet and live 10 lifetimes and never have to worry about affording himself. Doesn't know what to do. So this is what I asked him. I said, are you still in love with what you do? Okay, that was the first part. The second question was, are you in love with how you do it? And I pointed out to him that, we all have this opportunity. If you're lucky enough, if you're fortunate enough, you can maybe ride this out and go back in and plug your business back in and you'll be okay. At the end, you'll say, oh yes, I took a financial hit, but I survived it. And maybe if you're an especially bright, minded person, you'll say, oh, and it was lovely and I spent more weeks at home. Or you can use this time to reinvent not what you do, but how you do it and the impact it makes on others. If you're feeling a little meh, maybe it's not what you do, but how you do it. Anyhow, that's my thought for you this morning. Wherever you are in Blogland, be well. Take care. Oh yeah, no, I'm absolutely hearing you loud and clear, okay? So let's totally. Okay, so let me just step back and tell you a little bit of what I'm hearing, okay? As you know, I always say those two questions that are so critically important are, who is my work for? What change does it help create, right? Those are two incredibly important questions. Here's maybe for you right now an even more important question. The question is, do you love it enough? No. See, that's just it. No. Not do you love the work. Do you love your idea enough? The work is just stuff. It's the idea. It's what your work is about. That is what you have to love. That's what this COVID pause has done for some of us. Candidly, geez, I've really enjoyed being home for 8 to 10 weeks. I absolutely love my work, okay? I love being up on stage, okay? I love it. I love everything about it. I love shining the light in the corner, okay? I love it all. Stay with me here. I have never loved the flying and I never complain about it, but oh my God, my job is hard to do. I fly like up to a couple of 100 times a year, okay? An easy year for me is 140 flights. I get home at 1:30 in the morning constantly, okay? I do 18-hour days on the road constantly. And it's all awesome. It's all great and I love it, but oh my good God, it's hard to do, right? This COVID thing has come along and suddenly I'm not saying to you now, I hate my job. I don't want to go do my job anymore. I'm telling you two things. Number one, I still love the idea of what I do. I don't love so much the flying on jets. I'm using this opportunity, this COVID event. Yeah. I'm using the opportunity precisely. I still love the idea. I hate the mechanics of it. I don't like the business model of it. So taking the idea of the progression of economic value and looking at you as the product instead of me as the product, instead of me and what, geez, if this is what he tells us in keynote, what is he hiding behind the curtain? That's the product. No. Take the experience economy. You're the product. I'm trying to change you. And time is the currency. So to have more value to my client, it's not to find another stage to stand on for 60 minutes. It's to use the platforms that I have and these opportunities, et cetera, okay? To find a new way to bring value to you. It's time. I want to spend more time with everybody, not less time. I am still in love with the idea of what I do. And I'm really in love with this idea of bringing you to me. For days and giving you time. Like, I want you to come and have a moment, a true guided transformation, okay? But am I in love with the idea that if tomorrow they said, hey, the world's back on, let's go, and I got 50 million telephone calls saying, fly around the world and come and keynote my conference. On one hand, of course, I would be delighted, right? For lots and lots and lots and lots of reasons. Hundreds of thousands of them even. Sure. I would be delighted. But on the other, I would be kicking my ass for missing this incredible opportunity that I just had right now. Which was to do what? To matter more. So I'm still in love with the idea of the work I do. I just want to change the way I do it. What about you? Are you still in love with being a financial advisor? Do you still love turning the lights on for people? Do you still love, empowering them, inspiring them, helping them realize they're richer than they think? Using my language now, are you still in love with the idea of guiding them to a transformation? Okay, so just like, you don't answer it now. Right? I don't care. Now, I want you to really know, though. You think on that. And then the next question is, are you in love with how you do it? Or is that what needs to change? Somewhere a blog exists where I talk about this idea of loving it enough. And I know that I used Howard Schultz for sure. I used Starbucks. And I might have used like Zappos or something like that. But my point was, let's just stick with Howard, or Starbucks rather. Howard Schultz wasn't in love with the idea of a nice environment and charging people a lot of money for a coffee. What Howard Schultz was in love with, and knew everybody else would be in love with, was his idea of creating a third place. Like the whole, without selling you, what the Starbucks experience, you've heard me talk enough about it. Before it existed, he was in love with that idea. And he knew, everybody else is going to be in love with it. And it was the enthusiasm of his love that literally corrupted in a positive way everybody else. It's infectious. As they scream at you. It's infectious. Are you infectious? Okay? So when you're sitting back on the timeout just like I am, here's what we both can think about right now. Do I want to get paid $1 million a year to do this, or do I want to get paid $1 million a year to do that? Okay? And then how about this? Would I accept $500,000 to do that? Is the love worth it? If I loved the work more, would I take less compensation for it? Right? Like, that's just, let those questions kind of guide you. Okay? Yeah, exactly. Yes. And because here is why. Okay? Because when you think, no, to hell with all that, I just want to talk about, this. I just want to talk about, I'm just going to go back to normal and what it was before. Well, talking about things that people need isn't exactly a ton of fun. Like, so what? It's essential. Retirement planning. It's essential. Well, yeah, but that doesn't make it any fun. It's not interesting. Things that capture us, right? It's because they're interesting and we want to go and we can justify the price. And in experience, you're not just buying a ticket, you're paying in time. Oh, no, it's so fantastic. It's worth booking 6 months in advance. Oh, it's so fantastic. It's worth paying the premium fee. Oh, it's so fantastic. It's worth standing in line. So why can't your idea that you want to be excited about be like, oh no, I have a 3-day, symposium on, personal finances and wealth and getting your head right. And it's like a 3-day amazing experience with a lot of personal growth and blah, blah, blah. If that's your idea and you're in love with it, the question is,